Hello all, it's Soupy again, and today I'm talking about getting into Riot Grrrl. I've talked about before that I'm involved in more than just goth, mainly punk stuff, and Riot Grrrl is under the punk umbrella. And Riot Grrrl is something very near and dear to me, so I wanted to talk about it, because there's a lot of videos that like sort of compile history, but like not a lot of Riot Grrrls. I see them on some other social media apps like TikTok and blogs and stuff, but not a lot here. Maybe that's just me, maybe that's just like what's suggested to me. But anyways, I figured there would be a lot of people looking into Riot Grrrl because of the Moxie movie that just came out, which I thought was cute, a little corny at times, especially with Amy Poehler acting like that, you know. Although I nearly lost it when I saw the image of Amy Poehler's face photoshopped over Kathleen Hanna's when Vivian, I think her name was going through her mom's old Riot Grrrl stuff. But having not read the book that it's apparently based off of, I thought it was really cute, and I hope that, I wish that I had that movie when I was in high school, you know? But anyways, I wanted to sort of make a video talking about how to get into it, because there's a million videos on like goth stuff, but not so much specific punk things, and I think it's because of the weird attitudes around it, but I wanted to talk about it. So, also, do you like the change of setting? I moved into a new place several months ago and I haven't even finished decorating. Literally the very first thing that I put up was a Bikini Kill poster, which you're not going to be able to see from here, but literally, and I didn't do much decorating beyond that. I'm going to soon though. I put up lights. As is the case with most subcultures, music is like the key point, the key joining factor. I guess joining factor? The key factor. Like I mentioned before, it's really like a punk thing, but a lot of Riot Grrrl music is very indie and grunge in sound. Honestly, there's a lot less punk sounding music than I would like there to be. I'm trying to start a band. We have sort of one song. The two bands known as sort of like the founding bands for Riot Grrrl are Bikini Kill and Bratmobile. They both came out of the Olympia scene, infamous for their ties to other bands in the Olympia scene like Nirvana, especially Bikini Kill because Kathleen Hanna and Kurt Cobain were really good friends, and the reason that Smells Like Teen Spirit is called that is literally because Kathleen Hanna wrote Kurt Smells Like Teen Spirit like on the wall in his bedroom or something. Bikini Kill, regardless of Riot Grrrl stuff, is kind of an interesting part of music history all on its own. But other classics beyond those two very important founding bands would be Sleater Kinney, Huggy Bear, Heavens to Betsy, Hole, Tribe 8, L7, Babes in Toyland, Lunachicks, Dickless, Butchies, and of course, like there are even older bands that are associated with Riot Grrrl but existed before the early 90s official Riot Grrrl movement, like X-Ray Specs, the Slits, or the Bags, or any of those that were just older feminist punk bands, you know, fronted by women. As far as newer Riot Grrrl goes, there are more emerging bands, and newer, I mean like around 2010 or later and still going. So big ones would be like Destroy Boys, Skating Polly, Skinny Girl Diet, Dollskin, who I actually saw live the last Warped Tour. I took a photo with them. The Regrets, Dream Nails, War on Women, who are local and I do rather enjoy. Although actually, I didn't listen to that first album, I think, is it self-titled? The red one, anyway. One of the biggest ones of the newer Riot Grrrl stuff was Girlwood, but they were cancelled for good reason. The lead vocalist sexually assaulted the other band member, so yeah, unfortunately, as much as I'm Your Dad slaps, they are uncool. Wouldn't recommend putting them on a vest if you were thinking about it, because you heard some of their music and were like, oh, that's really good. It's neat. Riot Grrrl culture was a little bit unique because even though all punk is political in nature, this was the entire intent, the sole intent really behind Riot Grrrl was politics. It was just about feminism. It literally grew from feminist art projects from various women. One of the most closely associated things to Riot Grrrl is, of course, the zines. If you don't know what a zine is, it's literally like a handmade magazine type thing. There were different ones. There are all kinds that inspired each other. Toby Vale from Bikini Kill, before Bikini Kill, had a zine called Jigsaw. Allison Wolfe and Molly Newman from Bratmobile had a different zine called Grrrl Germs. Eventually they all collaborated together and made the zine called Riot Grrrl, which is really where that picked up. And specifically the Riot Grrrl zines they would put out at their shows, because it was all about, because the point was feminism, activism, The content of these zines would discuss all sorts of different feminist topics, eating disorders, beauty standards, all that kind of stuff, but I think the most prevalent theme, and at least especially in the ones that I've read or looked through, is women's subordination type stuff, where a lot of them would address all the ways that women were taught subconsciously or explicitly to be more quiet, to sort of stand off, to let men do whatever. And so the the major themes in a lot of these zines were to stand up and speak out and take up more space, because people are just fucking fed up. Women are fucking fed up. Women are still fed up. What a lot of you are waiting for, the fashion aspect, because a lot of people worry about fashion stuff in any sort of subculture. But something that I love about Riot Grrrl is that there isn't like a set fashion that you're supposed to like squish yourself into a box for. It's almost like anti-fashion in a way, because feminism is very anti-beauty industry by nature, tearing down all those like weird enforced things that are specifically enforced for women in the fashion industry. And of course there's still certain looks associated, like it is a subset of punk stuff, so naturally, Bikini Kill theme shirt, it's DIY today. But there are other things that Riot Grrrls would do. They take a lot of stereotypically like feminine things and then mess them up or do plays on them or wear them casually in settings that they weren't supposed to. Like weird gowns and stuff. I think the only real fashion that has like a name would be Kinderwhore, which is an awful word. I hate the word Kinderwhore. I don't know why anyone thought that was a good idea, but that was mainly popularized by Courtney Love from Hole, where she would wear a lot of soft, like lacy nighties and stuff that was, supposed to represent like femininity and innocence, but then she'd also it would be tattered, her hair would be messed up, and she'd have her makeup all smeared intentionally, and then she'd also act like that. I love Hole, but I do not love Courtney Love. I do not love Courtney Love. I wish I could stand Courtney Love, but she's At any rate, that's really just like the very basic overview. If you guys want me to do more videos talking about this, since I have a lot of experience with Riot Grrrl stuff, it's something that like actually I've had friends come to me about. I could totally do more videos about it. Yeah, I could totally do more videos about it probably. I'll try and link, because I know that there's a couple of zines that have come about within the last year, and there are newer bands that I'm sure that I would have to look into before I would recommend. Honestly, a couple of the newer bands that I mentioned today especially I haven't listened to, and a lot, like I'm not huge into that really indie sort of sound. It's very hit and miss with that, so like it's hit and miss with certain Riot Grrrl bands, their overall sound. But the thing about Riot Grrrl is that like the bands that hit really hit because they're relatable if you're a girl or a woman in this godforsaken patriarchal society. I plan to do a lot more different subcultural videos. I talk about trad goth mainly because like for years I confined myself to only trad goth stuff, and then I completely rejected it and went straight to only doing punk stuff, and I realized that in either instance putting myself in a weird little box like that is inaccurate, especially because like with punk stuff there's a lot of activism surrounding it, and I like to do those things because I'm affected by certain things myself, and so are people that I care about. I, aesthetically enjoy a lot of goth stuff, and I still listen to a lot of goth music. So I'll talk about, picking a subculture, like what that means in a different video probably. But if you're watching this and confused as to why I'm doing something about Riot Grrrl instead of goth stuff, or moreover if you're upset that I'm doing something about Riot Grrrl instead of goth stuff, that's entirely a you problem. Anyways, I think that's all I have to say for this video. If I think of something else, I'll record something else later. Or if I think of something else, I'll probably just link something in the description or make a different video later. Anyway, see ya!